yesterday. I tried to get here and I got a spot.
Try to put it underneath your seat or to the side so folks can get in without tripping over your prized possessions or your really cool collectible.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Alright, how many of you have read the comic, Batman and its features? And we're really excited to have him here, and we're excited to have this movie here. So with that, I'm going to introduce the moderator of the world premiere of Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my friend, Mr. Gary Mariano.
Hey, I don't know if you realize, that was Eddie Ibrahim. We should all give him a big hand. Batman does more work for you guys year-round at Wondercon and Comic-Con, making sure the programming is great than anybody on the planet, along with his marvelous staff. So one big round of a hand, please. Very nice. You don't want to see me, you want to see this, right? The world premiere of Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! They're even standing and saying yes. We're going to show it to you today. You don't realize how true to the words first people to see this movie are. We won't even release this on digital until May 14th or on 4K and Blu-ray until June 4th. So save your pennies, get ready to buy, and enjoy it today. Produced by Warner Brothers Animation, DC, Nickelodeon, and Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. Why are people waving in the back there? That's good. You like Nickelodeon. Excellent. We're going to have a great panel afterwards, so stick around. I will have a couple of these autographed by all of our wonderful panelists, and that includes our great filmmakers, our producer Ben Jones, yeah, you can applaud if you want now. We'll applaud again later. Our director, Jake Castorina. Our writer, Marley Halpert-Grazer. We've got Ben Giroux, our Robin. Andrew Kishino's here to tell us about Shredder. Kaz Anvar is here, our Ra's al Ghul. Eric Bauza, Leonardo. And doing double duty as Joker and Batman, first time ever, Troy Baker. So, everybody say it with me. Marcus. 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 Please roll the film. Please roll the film.
Gentlemen, coming up here at the second portion of our panel, we'll have the voice talent from Batman vs. Ninja Turtles and some really cool special giveaways during our Q&A presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your guest moderator, Mr. Gary Mariano.
Well, what you think? Definitely worth the wait. You have just seen the world premiere of Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Does anybody remember when it's available on digital?
June 4th.
May 14th. When's it available on Blu-ray and 4K?
June 15th.
June 4th. You guys are good. You passed the test. You will be quizzed a lot on the rest of the panel. Hey, let's get to the panel real quick because we have maybe 30, 40 minutes to go. For starters, I don't think they're even lined up. Get lined up, you're coming out right now. Nearly a quarter century in animation, working on things as varied as Iron Giants, Cats Don't Dance, Teen Titans, DC Superhero Girls, the most recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, our producer, Ben Jones.
There you go.
I mixed up the cards, my fault. He has directed on series like Batman Unlimited, Justice League Action, and the 2018 films, both Scooby-Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold, and The Death of Superman. Say hi to Jake Castorina. A writer on Batman Unlimited, Be Cool Scooby-Doo, over 100 episodes of the Mad animated series. Our screenwriter, Marley Halpern Grazer. You know him from Bunsen is a Beast and Henry Danger. Everything's in my way up here. The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, our Robin today, Ben Giroux. A star voiceover specialist of video games and animated film and series, from the spectacular Spider-Man and Star Wars The Clone Wars. He's the announcer on Family Game Night. Currently, you can hear him in The Lion Guard. Shredder, for all our purposes, Andrew Kashino. This gentleman, who managed to outdress everyone at Wondercon, period. You know him from The Strain. You especially know him as Alex Kamal on The Expanse. Say hi to our Ra's al Ghul, Kaz Anvar. He is the voice of Puss in Boots. He's the voice of Woody Woodpecker, of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. He was the Splinter in Rise. He was Splinter, sorry, not the Splinter. I get the Splinter. Splinter in the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Tiger Claw in the 2014 series. He voiced Donatello and Leonardo in 2 shorts, and he's graduated to full-fledged Ninja Turtle as Leonardo Eric Bauza. I like keeping it near me.
Give it up for Gary for a second.
That was more than I deserved. Superstar of voiceovers for video games like The Last of Us, BioShock Infinite, and the Joker in Batman Arkham Knight and Batman Arkham Origins. He is the voice of hundreds of film and series. Young Justice currently, Batman and the Lego DC Superheroes games, and the film franchise. He is our Joker today, Troy Baker! And the man who voiced Batman for us today, Troy Baker! She loves you.
I love you! I love you! And currently voicing her. So stupid, sorry.
This is going to be a silly panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got toys all over the stage.
Awesome.
Nickelodeon sent us a box of toys. Nice. There's no Splinter. And Warner Brothers Consumer Products and Nickelodeon, and everybody gave us toys. We like toys. Filmmakers, obviously you had the comic for a guideline. How did you decide about translating this to animation, the animation style for starters?
Well, for character stuff, Megan Casey suggested that we use Andy Kuhn, who does a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics for IDW. So he started, for the character stuff, we started with his work. For the rest of it, we just sort of went through the comic and picked out the bits that would translate best into animation and focused on those.
And how did you guys decide about like matching the villains to the animals and the like?
Mostly we stuck with what they did in the comics, but we made a few changes just based on our own personal preferences.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple you have to do. Like, you know, Scarecrow has to become a crow. And, they had Joker become sort of a cobra in the comic, and that was awesome. So we definitely wanted to keep that. But there was a few, like Bane in the comic becomes an elephant, and we were like, well, Bane's like a luchador sort of. He's got to become a jaguar. So then we put a cool elephant mutant in the movie also because elephant mutants are awesome. But we really wanted Bane to be a jaguar.
I am kind of sad we didn't fit the penguin mutant in there, though. He was pretty good.
Yes, yeah, that's good. And actually, I can say I've talked to the writer of the comic, James Tynion, and I told him that we decided to have Poison Ivy become a mutant plant because it is established that some people mutate into plants in the Ninja Turtle world, and he said that he didn't know that, and he would have done that if he'd known that was allowed.
You guys had maybe a couple of Easter eggs in there somewhere. Do you want to maybe point out to this audience something they might not have seen, but they might notice when they buy it on digital on May 14th or on Blu-ray on June 4th?
Way to be on brand, Gary.
Shredder's intro at the first engagement with he and Batman looks familiar. It's probably because you've seen it in the 1990 Turtles movie intro. Maybe Metalhead may have existed at one point for Raph's bike. Who caught Mondo Gecko's logo in there? Anybody? All right, one fans. Yes!
You can just reach one, Jake.
Yeah, okay.
I would like to say the moment where the turtles pop out from under the sewer lid, we know it's different than the movie poster, but legal stopped us from using that exactly, so we got as close as we could.
Really?
Yeah.
My thing is from Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, when April asked the Ninja Turtles if they would like napkins, and they say, what for? I think that every time anyone offers me napkins for my entire life, so I was very excited to have the Ninja Turtles say that. It's something that I wrote.
Ooh, good one. If anybody played Turtles in Time on SNES, you'll see it.
Who's the Pink Floyd fan down there?
That came from,
Darren?
yeah, that came from the voice actor. That came from Darren Criss.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Hey, creature, leave that kid alone was the Darren Criss line. Hey, creature! Oh, wait, they're gonna do it. Leave that kid alone!
He did it.
Yeah, it was great.
We should pass a little praise along for some of the other voices in this cast. We have Darren Criss, Kyle Mooney, and Baron Vaughn as our other voice actors. They all wanted to be here, but they were caught in other commitments. Rachel Bloom from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Let me tell you how cool Rachel Bloom is. We recorded her, we recorded this 2 years ago, January, February of 2017. These guys have been keeping a lid on it for that long. Carlos Alzraki has called me once a month begging me to talk about it. Rachel Bloom, we recorded on National Pizza Day. And halfway through the recording session, she said, hey, are we gonna have pizza? And I treated everyone to Shakey's Bunch Lunch, and Rachel went with us. That's slumming, let me tell you, when you're eating with the crew and the publicist at Shakey's. So, okay, now I just lost my privileges at Shakey's.
You have privileges at Shake?
I do, I actually have a card, they follow me on.
Mr. Mariano, straight to the front. No, pass the line, straight to the front.
I get the salad bar free, it's wonderful. Who eats the salad bar at Shakey's?
No one.
Actors, you each, Troy aside,
You're speaking to the actors right now, not me.
You guys all really committed to these characters, and these are iconic characters who have had some pretty significant voices. What did you do to take that character and make it your own? Start with Andrew and come down the line. Oh, start with Ben and come down the line, sorry.
Sure. No, I think obviously playing the 10-year-old version of Robin is a bit of a challenge because you first got to sort of make yourself sound young, but then he's a little bit of a badass, or at least he thinks he is, so you sort of get a little bit of the gravel in it. Ultimately, I think the Robin character was fun to sort of portray because you have the seriousness of the brooding, kind of serious Batman world, but you also have kind of the comedy of the Ninja Turtle characters, and I feel like that the Robin character kind of bridges that gap. So I don't know, I tried to bring my sort of sense of humor to it. I feel it was a funny character. I really was down with the line, I always wanted to press all the buttons.
The first thing I did was get in touch with my inner rage. Basically, for Shredder, what I did was looked at him and where he came from emotionally, because so many iconic actors had played him prior to me. So I was like, I don't want to do an emulation. I want to do something that brings something different to him. So it still speaks to who he is as a person, but is something entirely new and different. So it's not something recycled. So he still has that bristling electric energy about him, but he's entirely in this world as his own person. And he's maximizing all of his aggression and anger and everything from behind the steel mask.
Can I ask a question? How did you record? Did you like record with like a thing over your face?
Yeah, it was a Dixie cup. I just put a Dixie cup.
Are you serious? Really?
For the whole thing. All right, here we go. All right, roll it. Let's go.
It's pretty intimidating to do a role that Liam Neeson kind of broke out in feature film length, but I was dying to play Ra's al Ghul ever since I saw Batman Begins. What I loved about him is his age, playing someone who's hundreds of years old, and who's of a Middle Eastern background. I wanted to bring this guy has probably had so much education. What kind of accent do you have after hundreds and hundreds of years of living in all different kinds of countries? So I actually worked with the director and I wanted to have a sophistication, a European kind of thing, but I wanted, when he really got down and dark, that you heard some of where he comes from. And I had forgotten about that line, always sending children to do your own job. Maybe he needs one more loss to teach him his lessons. I forgot about that dark line. Wow.
We often
killing joke.
Sorry, we often refer to that as Middle Atlantic. I believe is the accent, and that voice director is out in the audience here, Wes Gleason.
Give it up for Wes.
Voice director. Where are you, Wes?
Stand up.
Eric.
Some weeks I think I'm a rat.
Other weeks I think I'm a turtle.
And sometimes I think I'm a rabbit.
I think for this version of Leo in particular, it's just the closest thing I've ever done in an animated anything that was just my own voice. So as far as playing, some like a teenager that shows vulnerability, I showed vulnerability with just like not having to disguise my own voice, and it was actually kind of lent itself to the role. Leo, of course, in this version, he is definitely back to basics as the leader of the Turtles. And I mean, he, around his brothers, is kind of like, if it was like a comedy group, he would be the straight man. And I feel like just playing him, and then the ultimate straight man though is Batman. So how much, I couldn't get any more closer than Leo was at the max, and then Batman, we're closer now, close enough. We didn't get to record together, and I wish we did. Troy is so handsome. But yeah, getting to voice Leo for this, quite the honor, because clearly, as a fan first, it delivered on all points, I think. So kudos to the directors and the producers over there. But yeah, great job. My piece on Leo.
So that's a valid point. None of these guys recorded together, which all the Turtles, everyone recorded separately. That's a testament to the marvels of direction, mixing, and some pretty talented individuals up here.
Some.
Speaking of the other ones, Troy, I can't even remember, did you record Batman and then Joker and then Batman, or did you do them together?
pretty much did them together. I always want to do it. There's a vision that the director. Who's our director? Joking.
No, wait.
Well, it's okay, maybe.
Voice director?
No, like there's a vision that the director and the producers and the writers specifically, when they write this out, like this is how we want it to go. So I was like, let's just do it in script order. And so we just kind of went through the script, and at one point it came time, I was like, okay, let's switch it up. So yeah, I kind of want to do everything together. I don't know, I was just freaking out and hanging on for dear life the entire time.
You jumped at this. Who you kidding?
Oh, I jumped at it. That doesn't mean it's a smart decision. It was a phone call. It was like, hey, you want to be both Batman and the Joker? I was like, you're drunk. He goes, also yes. No, this is, if anybody knows anything, they know how much I love Batman. I've had the opportunity to play Batman and the Joker, and the fact that these guys gave me a chance to do it in the same show is just like, it's a fanboy's dream come true. Yeah, you can clap for that. I clap real hard.
That's one of the fun parts about this project. All these guys are fans, and they ate it up.
Every one of us, man.
Now, if you could have played a different role, what would you have done? Which one would you have taken?
April O'Neil.
Absolutely. I was really surprised that DiMaggio came out. I was like, Mr. Freeze is a great choice, but I mean, it was like, Rocksteady or Bebop, that's the one that you... That's the obvious sequel.
I would watch a sequel.
Hell yeah!
You know who I want to play in the sequel? The Shroker.
Ah, yes.
How about that?
Ask us to do 2 roles then.
2 voices simultaneously.
Yeah. We have a lot of people lined up to ask questions, and I think you can do better than me. So why don't you go ahead and say your name first so we know who you are.
Dude, that dramatic light came up on you. That was perfect. Yeah, that was awesome.
Very intense.
I felt that.
And those Princess Leia things are outstanding.
Yeah.
Sponsored.
No. Keep them that way.
Hi, my name's Eric, and for years the debate on how to pronounce Roz or Raish
Here we go.
always gone on, and yet in this movie, different characters pronounce it differently, and no one corrects anyone. So, what is the proper way to pronounce it?
Oh, you're gonna love the official answer to this. Get away, man.
Yeah.
Do you want to say this?
No, do it.
Okay.
Do it. Just watch Arrow, and then you'll really.
It was. We were at the voice record, and they came up to like, wait, how the hell do we say this?
I believe it was actually my recording session where I had started to say Roz, and you're like, no, you need to say Raish.
And so we were debating that amongst ourselves, and then Gary, the ever resourceful Gary, did the official phone call to, I believe it was
DC, yeah.
DC, the official DC phone call, and we got the verdict. If you are in the League of Assassins or have been in the League of Assassins, you say Raish. If you are not a member of the League of Assassins, it is Roz.
Thank you for calling DC Comics.
Unless you are the demon's head himself, and you can call yourself Jeremy.
You could fart and blame it on somebody else, and they would take it.
And if you're his neighbor, you could call him Weird Al Ghoul.
Weird Al.
Thank you, Eric. Next.
Hi, my name's Luke, and I thought the movie was like outstanding. You guys did a great job. My question is, so in the movie we saw Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and all of them, and they were mutated, but we never saw them be like cured. So if there's another movie, are we gonna see them again?
This kid's part of the writing staff.
You're absolutely right. I think my feeling is that they distributed anti-ooze to the Gotham police and that they rounded the inmates up and cured them. But it is technically an open question. So if we do that sequel that everybody wants so much, there is an opening for some of the Gotham villains to still be mutated, but probably they caught them all and cured them and put them back in their cell. But we don't know for sure. It is an open question, and you're right about that.
That said mostly.
I love that. I know that cosplay is on point, son. You look good.
What's up?
Good job, dude.
You look great.
Yep.
Thank you, Luke. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Marie. How did you guys make the movie?
This is going to be the longest panel.
Magic. Yeah. Magic and heart. And a little bit of fairy dust.
Maybe
sprinkled on top.
I mean, how many artists worked on this? Even just in America, in our studio.
Oh man,
probably about 30.
Yeah. So 30 very talented, hardworking artists worked for 2 years to make this movie. In addition to all of the artists who worked on it overseas.
Actually, gonna use that to really segue. If any of the crew, anybody who worked on the film, that we haven't called out yet, please stand up. You guys, if you enjoy this movie, please thank them. This is a team effort. No one person can do this.
It's worth giving another shout out to our voice director, Wes Gleason.
Yeah.
Because I think that as voice actors, it's easy when you're recording as an ensemble, but we're all recording independently. It's all on the voice director to really match performance over the course of weeks, potentially months. So Wes just killed it.
Yes. Thank you, Wes.
Thank you, Marie. Yes, I don't know if anybody on the panel can see it, but I can. What's your name?
Okay.
Cool.
Go ahead.
How fun was the movie making it?
How fun was this?
So much fun.
Oh, it was a lot. A lot of fun.
Let me ask you, do you like playing with toys? Because that's what this was like. It was getting to have your action figures and play with them. It was cool.
What was his name?
Elwick.
No, they're back, I think. Okay.
He's still there.
He's still there.
And more fun than making it was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching it. I loved it.
Might be his big brother. Go ahead. Who are you and what would you like to ask the panel?
My name is Benny, and how did you feel to make the movie?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was a long time making it, but it was fun the whole time, and then now that it's together, it's even more fun.
Yeah. I'm still smiling from the experience.
We loved it. It was awesome. Huge.
And it felt like being entrusted with a big important thing, which was both felt like a compliment and also a huge responsibility to make sure we didn't mess it up.
Yeah. Had to do it right, pull from the right resources, the right comics, the right movies.
Especially aside from the fact that, obviously just Ninja Turtles and Batman on their own are such huge properties, but people really like the comic that this is adapted from, and we really wanted the fans of the comic to feel like we adapted the tone and sort of spirit of the comic, because I'm a big fan of the comic, and I hope that showed through.
I think part of the reason that this show was so good, this film was so good, these three guys sitting on the table here, we were signing autographs earlier, and I was just listening to the banter from the three of you, not the actors, our producer, director, writer, and I was like, these are the three biggest nerds I've ever signed autographs to sign. Like, they're talking about superheroes and origins and powers and comic books and video games, and I'm like, dang, I thought I was the only nerd on this panel, but man.
Wait till they disagree that it's like, no, he could not have been in that universe, because that's when it gets real fun.
Those are the exact guys you want.
So yeah, dude, that's who I want to help me this ship. And he was like, I don't remember what that issue was, man. I don't know. You're like, get out of here. I will go issue 61, of course.
Yes, sir. Your name and what you got to ask.
My name is Uzi, and do you like your job?
I feel like these questions are stacked, Gary.